And blessing. All right, let's listen to a little music. It's that if you're reading this, it's too late. Legend by Drake. Anyway, I'm Aaron Glenn, team member of Team Angie, private personal consultant, also an advocate for mental health awareness as well. And I like to put positive vibes out into the universe. So I read from my book of inspiration. And this is inspiring word for today of October the 14th. But I'm going to run it back a day, starting with the 13th, leading into today, Tuesday, October the 14th, 2025. Happy birthday to my lovely cousin. Celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to the Libras out there. Hope you guys enjoying your season. My young prince, my son, just celebrated a birthday on the 5th, the beginning of the month. A lot of people I know birthday in October, this month of October. But as far as Libras, yeah, I know a lot of Libras. Lovely people, lovely personalities. I'm big into astrology and zodiacs and stuff like that. I kind of like relate to it in a deeper sense. As far as signs and symbols, like how I relate to people as far as psychology and stuff like that. I feel like all this stuff relates. It makes sense to me. I don't look at it for answers. I look to it for like clarity. And I don't know. It's just something deeper to me. It's just like math. Certain things just make sense. They add up. And with astrology, certain things to it for me adds up. So yeah, I know a little bit about a little bit the Libra personality. I like them, the boys, the girls. Nothing like that. But as far as like female Libras are totally different from male Libras, and the way that they are, the way that they. I've been around and interacting with them. They're pretty decent people. My son, uh, in particular, the male Libra that I know. My sister. Well, first my sister. She really like headstrong and same as my son, headstrong. They both like go getters. They like every type people. They like to be out and about. They like to have fun. They nice to be around. I don't know what else I can say. It's like I don't know. I relate to these people. I'm a water sign myself. I'm pretty well rounded, molded. If you know anything about water, water conforms to whatever you pour it. You pour water into a cup, that water becomes a cup. If you pour it into a box, it becomes a box. If you pour it on the floor is not level. It's going to find its way. It's kind of how I am. I find my way, conform to my environment. It's not to say that in a good way. Sometimes you have to adapt and adjust, and that's basically what I do, how I do things, how I live my life. I'm real depth. I like the mystic. I like the spooky, the scary. I like the spirituality. Um, a lot of things like that, like the deep things of life and death itself, like death, life. I just like to figure things out. I like truth. I like to search for the truth. In my pursuit of happiness each day, I just search for truth. Like, what is true to me, to how I supposed to live my life, and like the things I should be focused on, and just living in my truth authentically. Spirituality, grew up Christian. This open book October, basically the open book of my life. And Team Angie, how we got started, everything, background to where we are today and what this is about, what Team Angie is about, who I am and what I'm about. what formed me to who I am. But yeah, as far as spirituality, I always had a sense that there was something out there, something more than me, something greater than just the flesh and bones. I grew up watching cartoons like a lot of other children. Experienced the 90s where it was like vibrant time. Everybody was creative. Everybody was like, it was about community. It was about expression, style, being seen, being heard, like kind of like New York, like the feeling of New York. You want to be a star. You want to be seen. You want to be heard. In this world of many people, and the way that we usually go about doing that was our creativity. Like we had the dancers, the bebop, stuff like that. Different artists. I'm into art. I love art. Share some of my art with y'all really quick. I got so many, like this year has been a blessing. Last year leading up to this year, as far as with my art, because it's easy to give up on your dreams, especially when you don't have the resources. Some of y'all wanted to go to college, you didn't make it. Whatever, right? The story is to be told. But my story is about how art was a form of escape for me. Like, grew up with a lot of people. I grew up with a lot of people, third generation of nine, meaning my grandmother had 9 children. My grandmother grew up of 9, a few more, but as far as I remember. And then my dad, and then I was. So it was always a lot of kids around, adults and people or whatever. Um, yeah, this keep cutting off for some reason. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, it was like we didn't really have a lot of space. Used to share rooms. That's why I was like, as far as a way to escape, I used to draw and be in my own little world, my own little room like that type sort of. And it's nothing against nobody, but as like if you grew up lonely, you would want the total opposite. You want to be around people a lot, but whatever, right? It ain't nothing wrong with nothing. It's just this was my little way to escape. Like when I got stuff going on, when I want a little space, when I just want to feel free or whatever, I draw. God showed me how. He gave me the gift, and I used to practice it all the time, and I was pretty good. But growing up, like uh, we had middle class, I'll say, meaning we're not poor, but we're not rich. We uh, we had everything we always needed. I grew up having everything I always needed: somewhere to stay, clothes, food, like shoes. I always had everything I needed. We didn't always have the best of the best, but we never lacked. And I grew up grateful for that because growing up middle class, I experienced seeing other people on lower class and higher class, and the difference. But the similarities was the difference was they lacked a lot. They didn't have a lot, but they was creative on the way that they came up with their resources and provisions, the way that they survived. So you learn different survival skills from the lower class, and then with the higher class, you learn like different etiquettes depending on what kind of high class person you're around. Like some of them are classy, and some of them are messy. You got high class people that live messy or whatever. Just because you have a lot of money and you're rich or whatever, doesn't mean that you are uh, an influence. That doesn't mean that you're a good influence. I meant to say, but whatever, right? You learn to differentiate which is good and which is bad from these type of people. Not all lower class people who create ways of income and ways to survive are bad and bad at the things that they do to do it, and vice versa. But anyway, I just learned a lot from seeing the different lifestyles. Those are the differences. But the same was the way that they were surviving as far as the parents. They all had secrets. Like um, some of the stuff they was doing for success, you would be surprised. And some of the stuff led them to incarceration or the hospital sick or whatever, right? But the long story short is The high class and the middle class, they left a lot of the kids to fend for themselves because the way that they were surviving and maintaining was not the way that the middle class did it, which was honoring, going to work and having spirituality and different things like that, trying to shift the community and doing things like that. Because we grew up, even though we had a lot of people in our house, the community stayed with us as well, like friends and family, and it was like that all my life. So we always knew about like opening the doors to people and just living a life like that and trying to at least. But it was enticing to want to live a fast life and do all these things that everybody else was doing as far as the high class and then some the lower class because they blend in with the high class. Only way that you'll know the difference is when you go spend some time with them and then you realize like, wow, they're probably sleeping on floors or we probably like from this place to that place. Like, the lifestyle was really rough and it was like behind closed doors, you really didn't know how to survive if you wasn't that tight. But out in the light, you like, wow, this person, you can't really tell that they're low class because they have decent enough things or whatever. They blend in, right? Just like the rest of the people. That's why it was about how creative you are so that you can stand out in the world of lights and everything like that because we all wanted to be out. We all wanted to be seen in the community. Like, you are in the community. You want to be seen in your community. It just is what it is. And growing up with spirituality, that was the way that we looked at life different, the way that we engaged with life differently because some people didn't have that. And of course, you didn't want to be so different. Like, wow, my religion, my views of life, our beliefs cause us to live differently, to, not do a lot of these worldly things. And I was taught that way young at an early age. Like, don't be following up behind the crowds, don't be a follower, and basically pick up your cross and follow Christ if you're going to follow anything, anybody. And that was that. And that's a hard lesson to learn. It's a big jewel to pick up as adolescent, because it's about morale, it's about being accountable. Who wants to be accountable at a young age when everybody else is doing the total opposite? Living unaware, unconscious, just making decisions, chasing pleasure, and getting wrapped up in that lifetime, that lifestyle, because it's glamorous. It's desirable, I guess, to say. Nevertheless, um, but it comes with a lot of sorrow, a lot of grief, a lot of everything that's not really fruits of the spirit. Things that satisfy you, things that allow you to experience true happiness, and it drains and empties you throughout the time. Nevertheless, this is the positive word for today, though, of October the 14th. But I'm going to read from the 13th to today. I always knew it was something more than myself, though, growing up, uh, having that spiritual sense, growing up Christian. It made me sick to my stomach because, like, growing up middle class, I didn't always have everything that I wanted. But, people that did have it, they make you feel bad about not having it. And that's the thing with the world. They want you to compete, they want you to feel bad about yourself, and they do these type of things because that's the energy of the world. That's something that you don't need to be focused on, but it's a distraction. And when you're young and impressionable, you'll think that these things are important. Which they're not. You get caught up chasing after these things and just putting yourself in a bad position to please people, and that's not a way to go. But it was like I got tired of that, just dealing with people, and I know how to deal with people and feeling different. I always felt different, like either I didn't belong in this place or just I don't know, like, I just knew I was different. I always felt alive. I felt like myself, like a being, control of myself. I'm experiencing stuff, and I'm just everything. I was consciously aware of what I'm doing and what's going on. I learned to be accountable very young. Whether I wanted to um, try to be slick or whatever, make excuses for my actions. I just knew that what I was doing, I always knew, I was aware. But the way that I was learning as far as spirituality, some of my spiritual teachers, they didn't, I didn't relate to them in a way as far as how to elevate and how to develop spirituality, develop my spiritual walk or whatever, my practices. They wasn't really good spiritual teachers because they preached in a way of fear. So they always talk about if you don't accept Christ, you're gonna die, go to hell, and basically a lot of fear mongering preaching. So it made me. Then they was like, God is eternal. He's forever. We're gonna live forever with God or whatever. Woo woo. And already I was thinking like God is strict. We gotta live like this. Certain things of the world that I want to be like, and I don't want to let go. And it was like, man, it requires too much. That's how I felt. It's like for eternity. Like I don't want to do this forever and ever. I'm cool, and then like it made me sick to my stomach when I thought about that. It was like eternity. Like man, no. Then I was just thinking like I always thought deep. Like man, it's too much for me. Like I don't want to. I didn't ask for this stuff. I didn't ask to be here, and it's like I'm forced. That's when I really felt forced. Like this lifestyle, this experience, everything, and I was like, I used to question God in a way, like, why would somebody create this? Like being ungrateful too, looking at it like, that's how the enemy works on your mind, and it was constant, and it was intense, and it was hard to deal with. Being a young Christian, getting baptized for the first time, and when I really looked at the world, like, wow, this is something. But then I started hearing that fear monger preacher as I was baptized, and it was like it brought that to me, in the sense of eternally, like a real spirit, not just flesh and blood. It's just, that's when I really felt like a spirit that would be here eternally. Like, it's more than this flesh, and that's when it was really getting to me. Like, I don't want to be experiencing this for eternity or like this, whatever. Like, even though I was kind of confused and afraid and kind of withdrawn from the whole thing, so I lived like that for a while. And when my sister passed, it was like, uh, since I was already living like that, like, kind of like I didn't know God for myself. I just knew of God and how that I knew the culture of God, that was that. But I didn't have a relationship like I had with people, physical people. I didn't think it was that important to have a relationship like that, but I was trying, from what I was being taught and what I was seeing, because, how can you know it'll be somebody telling you about Jesus, but they showing you the devil? You'll be confused, so you'll be really serving both, just like you're shown and some semi taught, until you have your own relationship with God. You learn from God, and then you know God yourself, and then you can discern and you live the lifestyle you choose each day. So before it got to that point, it was just like what I see is what I think, and it was just basically like culture. It was just culture for me. Spirituality was another form of culture, but I knew it was something real. I knew it was power in the name of Jesus and God. I knew God is real, and I knew there's power, but I just felt there was control as far as that. I didn't really see the love in it. I didn't really, I heard of the virtues of the Bible of love and all this and that, but the way, like I say, like even love, the word love was cultural. Like, people say they love you, but they show you different things. So it's like, what is love if this is what I'm being shown and taught? And from people all around the world, you see it in the movies, you see it in friends, you see it all the time. You experience it all different ways, but truly, what love is not what the world says it is. And one nation under God really isn't the God that we all think that, that's loving and Jesus Christ. But once you get to know Jesus Christ and have a personal relationship, you start to discern these things for yourself. You get that gift of discernment, so you won't be deceived. Because we're all being easily deceived, and that's just what it's been. Though I had my struggles, and I didn't want to continue to, like do a eternity lifestyle or spirit, whatever, like all that. That's why I felt like that, because I didn't understand that there is love and that there is, there's better days, brighter days. And I wasn't experiencing the love of Christ like that because I didn't know Christ. I was just creating my own blessings and receiving blessings from the devil. Just, because you'll be out here serving the devil when you out here doing certain things, whether you know or don't know. But once you awaken and aware, you start to realize, like, wow, where stuff is coming from and why certain things happening and different things like that. Like, it's a lot of different spiritual practices that people get into not knowing, and these things um, they don't be a good thing for you. Just like the power of words. People say a lot of different things not knowing what they're really saying, and they're casting spells on people. And this stuff is serious. That's why I'm kind of, I speak different. People look at me weird, like, why you say happy this day or that day? Because that's what I truly mean, and that's what I truly wish. And, if you don't get it like that, then whatever, right? But it's just me showing this is who I am and how I am. And it's not like something that I want to be. It's just who I practice each day, and I'm mindful of that. That's why you know who children of the light is by their actions and their deeds. And people will be like, "Wow, there's something about you I want to get to know." And then that's when I share that with them, Christ. Because you're supposed to share the good word, and that's what I do. As I've been getting to know Christ in my personal relationship, it was like this is a way for me to do it and to truly, really be transferred in my mind, transferring the way that I think, transferring the way that I am, transferring it to a whole different way of being, transforming. I mean, and I just been spending one day at a time. Also working on another goal of mine, trying to get monetized on YouTube. So that's what I said I was going to do this year, and that's what I've been doing. That's why I'm reading 2 pages today because I was like, maybe I'll take a day or maybe not. I don't know, but it's nothing. I could come on read a day and keep it moving. It's nothing too major to commit to. So I was like, let me just do 2 days today and get back to it, before I fall off and put God second. So I was like, I could share the word today and keep it moving. I got other things that I was thinking about and focusing on, but this is one of my missions, and I say I'm gonna complete it because I got literally almost 90 days left until this year is over with, and I'll be 1 year in, and I'll just run it back next year, and then I'll be used to it. It'll be good, and then we'll go through a whole another year of enjoying peace in His presence. Jesus calling. This book I enjoy reading by Sarah Young. So this is the word for the 13th and the 14th. Take time to be still in my presence. The more hassle you feel, the more you need this sacred space of communion with me. Breathe slowly and deeply. Relax in my holy presence while my face shines upon you. This is how you receive my peace, which I always proffer to you. I haven't read the word prophet before. I'm not sure what that means. Imagine the pain I feel when my children tie themselves up in anxious knots, ignoring my gift of peace. I died a criminal's death to secure this blessing for you. Receive it gratefully. Hide it in your heart. My peace is an inner treasure, growing within you as you trust in me. Therefore, circumstances cannot touch it. Be still, enjoying peace in my presence. And this word was inspired from the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10, and Numbers, chapter 6, verse 25 through 26. Enjoying peace in my presence. This is a wonderful word. I mean, I'm glad I didn't read it yesterday until today because it kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about. Therefore, circumstances cannot touch it. Be still, enjoying peace in my presence. The circumstances of spirituality and the things that I was dealing with, certain sins, certain strongholds, even to this day. And I just give it to God. I sit there and I speak with God, and I'm like, these things bother me because they hold me back in life, and it's not nothing of my own doing. It's just, uh, when you get tied up in certain things, you start forming certain habits, and certain habits are hard to break. It just is what it is. Just like cursing, you might not think it's nothing bad, but once you form that habit, and it's hard to stop. It's as simple as speaking, controlling your tongue. not being able to control it. Even with liars, it's not being able to control your tongue. It's a bad habit. Not saying that it's something big, but every sin, every bad habit is looked at the same, just like all sins are looked at the same. There's no one bigger than the other. They're all not healthy things to help you in life. Be prepared to suffer for me in my name. All suffering has meaning in my kingdom. Pain and problems are opportunities to demonstrate your trust in me. Bearing your circumstances bravely, even thanking me for them, is one of the highest forms of praise. This sacrifice of thanksgiving rings golden toned bells of joy throughout heavenly realms, on earth also. Your patient suffering sends out ripples of good tidings in ever widening circles. When suffering strikes, remember that I am sovereign and that I can bring good out of everything. Do not try to run from pain or hide from problems. Instead, accept my adverse. Instead, accept adversity in my name, offering it up to me for my purposes. Thus, your suffering gains meaning and draws you closer to me. Joy emerges from the ashes of adversity through your trust and thankfulness. So God is saying, I know you're gonna go through stuff. You're gonna go through stuff in my name. But I'm gonna take your sufferings and turn it around for my glory. Like the stories I've been showing lately of people growing up in certain harmful environments as far as spirituality, dealing with different entities and different religions that offers different gods other than Jesus Christ, and certain stuff you can't really just you need you need some help to let it go, to get it off you. And some things require more than prayer. You got to give it to God, literally. Like, people play with these spiritual things and they think they have all the spiritual power, but you don't. And that's why God said, you're going to suffer in my name. If you're doing things in my name, don't worry. I got you. But nevertheless, even if you are and you want to know Christ because you caught up with these different things, he says, I always call him because you are mine, and you can have peace in my presence, and give it to God and just say, Lord, I trust you. I want you to be the Lord and Savior of my life. And he will be there, and he will accept you and bring you peace and show you who he is. That the Holy Spirit enters you. When the Holy Spirit entered me, I got baptized and I saw life different. And I was being able to discern these different spiritual things because prayer doesn't help with everything. Sometimes you just got to really give it up to God and say, Lord, take this from me. And just trust that it's going to happen. And, turn away from different things, like put away whatever, put you in those positions. Like, you got to denounce certain things and renounce, meaning if you're going to give up drugs, give away all of the contacts, erase them out your phone, and whatever that's going to lead you to that, like whatever paraphernalia and different things like that, and or vice versa. If you have whatever, right, you just get that stuff out and then you cleanse it up and you switch it over. Whether you got like social media that's misleading people because you're doing too many pranks or whatever, right? I don't know what y'all got going on. But when suffering strikes, remember that I am sovereign, that I can bring good out of everything. Thus, your suffering gains meaning and draws you closer to me. Joy emerges from the ashes of adversity through your trust and thankfulness. James chapter 1, verse 2 through 4. That was a book that inspired this reading for today of October the 14th. And also the book of Psalms, chapter 107, verse 21 through 22. So yeah, trust and thankfulness. It's not an easy thing. Like, I read this and it sounds all good. It seems all good and it can be all good. But it's not easy, is what I'm saying, because once you start this journey, it's a commitment. It's a daily choice. Because it's a hard time that you're having in the moment, it's easy to give up. And like, well, I'm gonna go back to what I'm used to, and that's what a lot of people do. That's why they put Jesus down from time to time because it's not easy. They're suffering my name, and man, sometimes it's hard. I haven't been on here as well because of one of my childhood friends suffering at the moment, and I just pray for him because I don't know how he feels. I don't, you know. Um, all I know is that he's dealing with a hard situation, and I just want to give him space and time to adjust to the new reality. Not saying that everything is going to be all right. Not saying that you'll ever. I just pray for his healing and for the he be able to adjust to the new reality because things happen in life. This year has been crazy. My life has been crazy. But this year, personally, and with everything else going on in the world, Trump out here doing a lot. He trying to play God. A lot of scientists try to play God. And I put his name out there because he's supposed to be the leader of where I'm staying at. I'm here in America. The leaders out here, they're doing things that's affecting us all. And they're doing things that's affecting us. Not saying that everything they do is a issue. Personally, I see certain things that affect me as far as my finances and just my peace of mind. And I don't really worry about that stuff because I know the God I serve. I don't serve these leaders. I try to support them when they do the right thing because that's the right thing to do. And pray for them as well that they can have the mindset to care about the people that they getting their support from because we put these people in position. At least we like to believe so. But anyway, you just got to take time out too to have compassion for people because people go through things and people are suffering. But Christ will be able to have peace in His presence. We'll be able to put that suffering to the side for a while to just figure things out and how to adjust to these changes because we're gonna have to adjust and constantly evolve. And that's us being molded through the fire of trials and tribulations until we just that character it's in our DNA that we're just Christ-like. We're transformed through our sufferings, through our trials, and through the renewing of our mind, how we look at these things, how we interact with these things, how we don't try to perform to this world and do all of these things to dampen our soul to be like everyone else to, feel accepted. Because I believe that's what it all draws down to at the end of the day. People want to be accepted, so they join these different organizations and programs and communities. But you got to have discernment to know that you're not following up behind something demonic, something with evil intentions, because the devil comes down in the light and he shows you what you want. But that comes with sacrifice. When God blesses us, God blesses us. It's not no two-way street where you got to go and do something else. But it's just to be wary because people come and suffering, not suffering, but misery comes in all type of forms as well. And it's just to protect your peace. That's why I advocate for mental health awareness because these things start in the mind. Like I was saying, how I felt about certain things as far as spirituality. And that was just a way of the devil to steal my faith in God because it's just too much of a commitment. It felt like, these things that I battle with personally, how it was so easily for when my sister passed for me to lose my faith and go into different things as far as like Buddhism and, different whatever, right? But Jesus is slow to anger and patient. And he was like, I'm gonna give you some time to figure things out because what I wanted to know when people was like when you lose people and you go through certain things and you already like don't know Christ for yourself, you don't have a personal relationship, it's easy for you to be like, I don't want to hear that stuff. Like whether I wanted to or not, people used to be like, God bless you and this and that, but in my soul and my spirit, I was like gritting my teeth because I didn't want to hear that stuff. And it really made me mad when people was like, God gonna help you get through this and all of this, that type of talk, right? Because I guess I was semi-Christian, you can say, anti-Christian, because as much as I knew who I am and wanted to believe in it, it made me mad. And I was like, wow, um, to be authentic with myself, to be real. I really felt that way, and I had to be real about it. And I had to go through that situation where I was like losing my faith in God, not in God, but in Christ, and following up behind these other things that was I thought was going to bring me peace because um, certain pain will make you feel that way, you know. And it's easy to give up on Christ when, like you say, in my name you'll suffer. I'm not saying that you're going to understand everything that you suffer about either, right? Um, it's easy to get possessed by other things and start just really getting stuck in that lifestyle. And God has mercy. He's slow to anger, and He'll be there to help you get through it, you know, and pull you out of that stuff because it is a stronghold. Some of these spirits latch onto you, and you'll think that everything cool. You'll seem to be living a normal life, but you'll be wondering why, like, I can't give up certain addictions, or I have certain relationship problems, or every time I get a money, it just barely slips away. You know what I'm saying? Different things will be different attacks on your life, and you'll be thinking it's just you or your environments, the people, but it'll be spiritual attacks, and you really wouldn't know it because it's so subtle, and that's the way that the devil does it. You'll open yourself up to these attacks, and it'll mess up your relationships with yourself first of all, and with other people, and then you'll be unhappy. So my everyday thing is my pursuit of happiness, spending time with Christ, opening my mind up, showing me what truly matters, and allowing me to be happy, turning my passions into profit. Like, you know, I'll be able to draw and create different sources of income. Not saying that everything is going to be fine and dandy, but you do have power, and you do be able to put yourself in position to live the life that you desire and deserve. But it's like when you go through those sufferings, it is hard and it is trying, and it's tempting to lose your faith in those times. But I'm here to encourage you to keep it moving, and, you know, to stick with it, pick up your cross and follow Christ, and also to pick up a free blueprint copy, link in the bio if you're looking to have live mentorship, to be around like-minded individuals, turning your passions into profit, figuring out what your passions is. If you just want to start making money online, that's what this is about. Join me on this 90-day challenge to passive income online, and we're gonna have fun creating streams of income, teach you how to, basically it's a business in a box. Launching profit in 7 days, your website, and then find who your perfect customer is. Set up your, learn how to grow an email list and set up an email list. It's a lot of things you'll learn. But basically how to be your own boss overall. Have now is NFTs and digital art. I'm still working on different little projects, taking a little time, and also I invest in the markets. The only difference between me and anybody else is I take action, and that's the only that it takes is to take action and never give up. You know, I've been doing digital marketing for a year now. It's in addition to Team Angie, private personal consulting company. I've been pivoting from one thing to the next just to keep my company afloat. Um, September 22nd, we just celebrated 3 years of business. Team Angie is 3 years old. I didn't know anything about business, but it was a dream of mine. And I'm living my dream. It's not how I thought. Everything is always going to turn out how you think and how you want it. But if you never get started, you don't know how it's going to go. And the journey is ongoing. The marathon continues. I'm constantly finding new ways to upscale, and it's just interesting. Nevertheless, it's an intricate journey. I'm constantly learning and advancing year after year, month after month, day after day. And this is right here is a money making activity. So yeah, I learned how to do different money making activities, but mental health awareness because it takes a certain type of mindset to get into entrepreneurship and to be your own boss, to go through the failures, to go through the success, just to be willing to learn, you know, because it's not going to be like you're going to know everything. You're going to have to figure stuff out along the way You're going to deal with some shiesty people. You're not going to have the support from the people that you thinking that you want. You're going to have to find your group, and you're going to have to be out here like a nomad, finding your way. And then sometimes it's a lonely journey. You'll get lost in the sea of uncertainty, unsure which way to move forward, how to move forward, or even if you should. And that's simply where a lot of people drop the ladder and they give up. But like I said, the difference is I haven't quit. I won't quit. The marathon continues. And if you had to start new 90-day challenges, that's what you do. And that's what I've been doing every 90 days. Picking up the ladder, raising the bar higher, and achieving new goals. I have five multiple streams of income and I work on a few different ones. People seem to be interested in my art. People seem to be interested in how I make money on the stocks, what I do with the cryptos, whatever, right? But I had time to do these different things because I took a chance on myself. And now I'm taking chances on my different investments, whether I want to flip them, cash them out, or whatever. I'm just maintaining my situations and learning how to get into new situations that's going to add another source of income that I can figure out which one is working the best. If I want to drop some, if I want to go full force on this or whatever, right? As far as digital marketing, it's something I really like, and it's why I added it as an extension to Team Angie because I'm learning different things, how to upscale and evolve, and it's a nice tool to have. There's layers to it. It isn't one simple thing, and that's what I like about it because I challenge myself. I'm happy, and that's what matters to me. It's going to be times where I don't have it. It's going to be times where I have it all, but and every time I'm sustained, I'm satisfied. I'm happy when I don't have it. I'm happy when I do have it. It doesn't matter. Those things doesn't make me. Those things doesn't break me. What matters to me is who I am when I don't have it and who I am when I do have it. And if I'm the same person off and on, and just being authentic because when you do have it, the flow of abundance is to keep it going. So when I do have it, I want to keep it going to somebody else who's going to share. I share with people who share, and it just keeps going. It gets in the right hands, in the right minds. And when I don't have it, I like to pull from people who do the exact what I do. But is in the opposite position. That's why they're able to flow into me, and I'm able to flow into someone else. So that's how it works. That's how it goes for me in my mind. That's my point of view. And that's how I like to tap into it that way in that form. And that's the energy that I put into it, the energy I get out of it. And nevertheless, I like to be guarding my mind because you have to be busy doing these things. You could wish and manifest and want these things, but if you're not actively doing it, it is no point you're wasting your time and energy. You have to align yourself. It's just like you want to run a marathon, you got to win a marathon. You can sit there and think about it all day, but if you never pick your feet up and start moving towards the end of that destination, you're gonna be wasting your time. You could go study, you could go watch the greatest, you could go stand on the track, you could even buy the gym shoes. You take a few steps, but if you don't continuously go, you're not gonna experience what it's like to be a winner. And regret is a thing too. You could say, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow," but tomorrow, that momentum, that passion, that energy is not going to be the same as it is in that moment where you're supposed to take action. That's what life is about: being in the position and also being ready to take action when the time comes. That's how you put yourself in position. That's how you stay in position. That's how you be aligned with what you're trying to manifest. It's like I want to be one of the greatest. Well, on your way to being a great, you're gonna be doing some things, and then it's not no overnight type of thing. It's no grand moment. It's small moments at a time, and those moments might not be as big as you think. That it really be that transformation, just like from day to night. It happens in a few minutes. It comes up from dusk to dawn. It's no bright. When we cut the light off, cut on. It's no big moment like that. It's a few moments at a time that adds up to that transition to where it's now different and you're now living your dream. But it doesn't happen if you don't get started. Even with that grand gesture that I was talking about of from night to day, it's taking action, moving from east to west. And once it's finally past that point of no more darkness, it's transition. And that's how you are with this marathon. When you get started learning these high income earning skills, all you need is a cell phone, Wi-Fi, and 2 hours a day. But nevertheless, if you're not coachable, you're not going to learn anything, because if you got it all figured out, then go finish figuring it out. I mean, go, get busy. That was my problem. I wasn't coachable. I know a lot, which is a good and bad thing. But if I'm not honest with myself, then how can I learn? How can I make the proper adjustments? So I had to be honest with myself and figure out what's holding me back from being successful as I see success. And it was, okay, you're not learning because you don't think you need to learn. You think you know it all. I mean, I got good strategies, real good tactics, but it's about um, successfully attacking. Successfully. Um, like if you make a move, you want to be successful with it. Basically, you got one strike, one shot, and that's one thing I wasn't aware of as far as being coachable. Like your mindset changes too. You see things differently. You think you know a lot of stuff, but once you put down everything you think you know, and you open yourself up to learn things, to see different points of view, that's when you really learn what you really know, and you really start testing and challenging what you think you know, because some of your ideologies are what's holding you back. You think you know what's best for yourself, and you probably don't until you hear different opinions, different things, and then you start like, okay, well, if I adjust, or maybe this is for me, maybe this isn't. When you start questioning it and you start really having different uh, resources or whatever, different options, testing those different options. Not saying to be out here being ungrateful. Like if you got a good situation and it's working, then keep working it. Not to say be comfortable in life, but don't go fuck up a good thing. Is what I'm saying. And if it's not good, then you need to figure out what options to make it better. If not, who you are, the way you look at it, and all this and that type of stuff, basically. Like that's the same as with my art. Like I can't force this stuff to work out. I just give it to God. Like, is this what I should be doing? Is this bringing glory to you? Is this where I need to be in life? Because God got His people everywhere and in everything. And it's like He'll show you. You'll figure it out. You'll be doing stuff, not even knowing if that's what you think you should be doing, but you'll be took care of along the way. Then all of a sudden you look back like, wow, I've been doing this for like 3 years, and I've been straight. I've been needing a little help from time to time, but overall, I've been making way much more progress with my dreams. And now it's at the point where I'm almost there, to where those fantasies I was thinking, like, it's a few more moments to where it's going to be transition to where I'm actually living it. Everything is what it is now. I'm just maintaining this little bit until I can dream bigger and start working on that. It's easy to give up along the way because it's not easy to keep going. But shit, I mean, it depends on how bad you want it sometimes too, because my favorite book in the Bible about Joseph, he wanted to be the king of Egypt. And it took his whole lifetime to get there. God showed him, just like God showed me things that I could have for myself. That doesn't mean I doubt God's word because it's not happening right away. Like, his story, the Prince of Egypt, he was favored or whatever. He had the nice coat, the nice things, but he spent a lot of time in jail, a lot of time suffering because of him speaking up for Christ. And that's what this was about. Like, you're going to suffer. If you're not afraid to suffer for Christ, for the good of God, then, you're going to suffer for this world and stay in suffering. It's not nothing that you can avoid. So why not suffer for your dreams and goals to live the life that you truly desire? It's like he spent a lot of time, and I've been spending a lot of time, and that's not nearly compared to as long as he was in jail for no reason because God gave him a dream. And just because God gave you a dream and you suffering on your way through it don't mean stop your marathon, stop your journey. But for those of you who haven't even started yet, I just I suggest, man, I'm finna go ahead and finish my little music. I got some songs playing in the background, but I just wanted to put some motivation on y'all timeline. Make sure that y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel because y'all can help me with my goals that way. And yeah, um, free blueprint below if you want to join this 90-day challenge. Start your own online business. It's to the bottom right there. And then yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free. If you're not a hater, if you like educational videos, you can check out all my lives, check out all my videos, my shorts, binge watch. I got a lovely collection going on. Also, the links in the bio too. If y'all want to make money online, check out this free blueprint right here, and then in there say $5 free stocks. I'll show y'all how to buy. I just sold all my cryptos. I got on the stocks. That's what I was talking about with Trump too. He made some type of announcement. I told you October 10th if something was gonna happen. Crypto, crypto like took a hit. They took a real big hit. I'm like, damn, there's something going on. They say he did something with some I don't know who fucking shit up. Basically, they had a lot of weird stuff as far as with the markets. Hold on, I'll show y'all. Then today they talk about stuff all good now. Like whatever, dog. It's all good when the banks close on the 13th. Think for Columbus Day or something like that. So yeah, we just got rid of them, sold them out. Um, and then today it was like it was kind of like up a little bit, and then it's down like 1 cent. Let me show y'all like what they're trying to do. Swap it out, right? Are they all down? Not yeah. Hold on, let me go to the crypto. Those was just it's like they flip flopping the window down. They still going down. So yeah, like I told y'all, like everything in a race. I really want to see. Bitcoin was like 120, like XRP 245. It was like $3. 15. So yeah, probably to like this weekend. Everything just took. Oh yeah, let me go show y'all the news. Let me see if they show the news and what's going on. Um, Yup, China hits back. This was like 59 minutes ago. So he said he wanted to up the tariffs or some whatever stuff. I don't know. All I know is like he made an announcement. Everything started falling, and then they was like, oh big Ethereum Dodge dropped 6% as China hits back on U.S. tariffs. Total liquidations hit 630 million, with long positions making up 2/3 of the wipeout. So what they mean is right, 630 million. And Bitcoin is the number one crypto. Bitcoin is like 100. It was like 120,000. And what they saying with long positions, this is what they mean. So let me show you something. For an example, we'll do it like this. Okay. Let's go to one that's kind of cheap, like Dodge. It's like 19 cent, right? Dodge coin 19 cent, as you can see. So these people, like when they say, let me go back to this article real quick. Um, Liquidations hit 630 million from Bitcoin. $630 million. That's a lot. All right, just think about that. And these are the whales. It's the bulls. This the the bears. So China, basically, Asian stocks tumble. Bitcoin fell below 112,000 as China traders measures against U.S. equities entities. So China's trade measures against U.S. entities, and they say 630 million basically took out with long positions, making up 2/3 of the wipeout. All right, let me show you back this one more time. So what they mean, right? Say for Dodge at 19. Say for instance, they got like 1 billion Dogecoin. 1 billion. All right. So that means 999 million um, tokens could be bought. Somebody got 600 million. So you got like 300 million left. Um, and then these people got billions of dollars, millions of dollars, right? So they got majority of all the coins. And since it's a Asian coin, Bitcoin, they the ones who started it, Asia. But it's such an asset that globally a lot of people use it, and globally a lot of people bought these coins with their businesses. Like America bought some, different countries bought some, and now even different corporations buying some. Like you probably got Tesla got some, or whoever, right? Different people got some, whatever. And out of all of these millionaires, they got majority of these. So like say for instance, if I got 2/3, or you got like half, if you sell all your okay, like this, right? Like these 19 cent, once they go to 120,000, or like like, so it's a million coins. I got like 600 million. No, we'll do a small number. Say it's 10 coins, right? I got five. Somebody else got three. That's eight of them already. And then uh four people split the last two. You bought half and half, he bought half and half, and they bought half and half, right? So we the only ones got these coins. And I got, mind you, I got five of them. That's half of it. Somebody else got three, so they got the 2/3. Because I got the majority, they got 2/3, and then the other person got the rest. And then they only at $1. We bought them, it's only 10. Now all of a sudden, it goes all the way up because people want more and they're making more. So they can start making more. They ain't gonna drop them until like next year, but they being pre-sold. So now all of a sudden, us 10, the coins that we got, they worth like $20 or whatever until the next year, or however long until people start buying in. Then when they get in, they probably got the special sale. Like, okay, this coin going up to about like $1,000, so y'all can buy in at like 300 or something or whatever, right? Mind you, I got five of the coins. So however high these coins go up, maybe 120,000. If ever I decide that, all right, I'm cool with my profit, since I started with my dollar, I'm selling out. Now, out of those majority of the five that I took, the price just dropped a whole lot because most of the money gone because I got most of it. And then the other three that got the last three, if they decide to sell, then the market gonna almost crash because of the new people in, and they coin not as worth as much as ours because we started off with the majority of the profit. They only got in at a fraction because they wanted to make new coins and it cost such amount. Like how it go. Like you want to make T-shirts, you got to buy the T-shirt, then you got to do all this. Like somebody getting profit, if it's not 100%, right? It's a middleman type thing to everybody get their profit. So of course you buying in, you're gonna make a profit, but not as much as the heads of it. So that's basically what's going on. Like the heads of the people who made this coin, they are from Asia, and they got majority of them. So if ever, even though America got a lot of money and we bought them, they still got majority of it. And if we want to play little games, because we got whales, like we might have a few million, they got a few million, but they got the majority. So if we ever play a game like, oh, we finna sell some of ours and try to make y'all drop, and then if they hit back like, well, we gonna just sell some too. Like that's what's going on now. It's because they selling, and they been selling. Because Trump was like, oh, we finna go up on the woo woo, and they like, fuck that. We start selling and go up on that. You know what I'm saying? Because we use these cryptos as an asset, and they like, y'all want to play, then we'll drop y'all bank too. Like fuck gold and all this and that. drop these cryptos that y'all want to start messing with, and you know what I'm saying? Like, but low key is just all of these people, they playing little games with our money because they want us to think, oh, it's China, it's them, it's nah, it's none of them people. They all working together, and that's what keep us distracted. Like, you know, like I was like, okay, once he made that announcement, it's finna be like some weird shit going on. So let me just take my money off. But as far as with the stocks, like that ain't got nothing to do unless they're overseas companies or they're like different ones where majority of the countries mess with. Like if you got uh Walmart, like you straight, right? Or maybe not. I don't know. But it's seeming like, but it's like what because not everything like energy. People still using up energy. Like let me show you. Certain stuff is never going to be affected. Just know. Like they up, and all this stuff is like land, this power. Let's check this out. They down $3. It's like every company stealing money because some of these companies shouldn't be affected, but like $3, come on, dog. Like what just happened? You know, I've been watching this TV show called Continuum, and they was talking about well, this was dropped in 2015. I'm just now seeing it. I didn't watch every movie that come out every year. Like I don't fucking know. Whenever I see it, I see it. If I see it. But anyway, a lot of movies I've been watching. I like sci-fi. I like um, detective type stuff, like mystery, crime, action. It's like everything in one. Um, anyway, so a lot of these movies, right, or TV shows. This is a TV show I'm talking about. They always doing some time travel and stuff, and it's for entertainment purposes. But whenever they do this stuff, they always going back to the year 2012. And oddly enough, I think they was blaming it on the Mayans back then about the world ending. So I don't really remember. It was some big buzz going on around 2012. But before that, the year 2000, that everybody was panicking like the rapture that was supposed to just happen in um, September 24th or whatever, right? Last month, they was talking about this rapture stuff. People was panicking about that, whatever. But before that, it was a bigger thing because they was talking about the year 2K. People didn't really know what that was about. And just like this rapture stuff, people it was at a higher, you know what I'm saying, at a higher rate they was doing that. So that was the big panic of 2000s, and then 2012 it was the same thing. So people was like, man, in 2000 nothing happened, so nothing might not happen in 2012. I don't know. Nothing really happened as far as what I know, but things start. That's when they really was like all the Mandela effect because people started noticing like weird stuff as far as reality, like the Fruit Loop stuff was spelled different and different little thing, like little stuff was happening like that. Like, I mean, we still trying to figure it out now, but since 2012, that's when shit got weird. And on these movies, every time I see one and they're talking about the stuff, time travel, it makes me think like, did something happen in 2012? Oh, okay. Well, I brought that up, right? On this TV show, they was like what I'm talking about now, these corporations, the greedy corporations, the way that they playing these games, the way that they the stuff that they own, the big schemes, right? And they was basically going in the past, going after them, and they was making them look like terrorists or whatever. It's a real good TV show, but it's subliminal as fuck though. It's like basically telling us like that's what these companies doing. And I kind of see it too, like what's really going on. Like you feel me? Like I see it. It's like a discernment. Like even though it's for entertainment need, it's really like a wake up call though, because I'm looking at these companies and what's going on, and I knew on the 10th something was going to happen, and it's kind of like that play on that. It's a big energy thing, a big energy play, and I think like I don't know, maybe on the 11th the next month something else going to pop off where they're going to try to do some little stunt like this. Cause who all made money off this? Like, who gained from this? Well, of course we know. These are nice little pretty little colors. How about we make it look pretty as we take your money? I mean, for real though. Um, this Beijing, like even down a couple dollars if y'all just took all this money out. They should be straight. All of Asia. Now they back up. They been straight the whole time. I just grabbed this company right here because they went from 21 to 28. So I'm like, shit, I'm finna rock it out with them. In a couple days, finna sell this one right here. They've been rocky, but I just think their company do this same thing. And man, they in a real good position to this day. But it's like, yeah, especially if I wait. Cause like it's a lot of companies still doing good. Like all these companies doing good. Majority of all of them. But yeah, I was like, damn, I'm finna just hold on to what I got because I really want to make some money off the cryptos. But when they doing stuff like that, ain't no way, ain't no telling how long it's gonna last when they're gonna be bickering or whatever. But I'm keeping my eye on it because people still making money. And that's the thing, like, if you don't watch what's going on, you ain't gonna see. Because they want you to watch this and watch that. But I want to watch the money and see how it's moving. When he made that announcement, I knew it was gonna fuck up the cryptos, but it haven't been fucking up the stocks. I ain't gonna mess with the stocks, but I am gonna get in and buy some more before I try to bank out on the stocks because some weird shit gonna happen. Like that was kind of odd. That was some left field stuff. But anything could happen though. You know what I'm saying? Like anything can happen. So you just want to be prepared. The market finna open tomorrow, then we only like down 1 cent. But I'm gonna let this go though because it's just something to be aware of. Like what these people how to be playing games and how to have discernment. Because God been telling me like, yeah, go and have fun. You know what you want, you know what you need, and this how you finna be able to get it. So, shit, go ahead and get it, and don't worry about nothing else. And that's what I've been doing. And that's how I live life. Still straight though. But peace and blessings for Team Angie.